Alright guys, so today we're checking out a pair of true wireless earbuds from the company Fiio. Now, my experience with Fiio products in the past is you actually get a lot for your money. I mean, I've had good experience with amps, in-ear monitors, they make headphones. They are an audio-focused company. So when I saw that they were releasing these FW1 true wireless earbuds for $50, it definitely caught my attention. I was intrigued to see how well these stack up against some of the other ones. So we're gonna check out some of the features, what you get inside the box, and see if it's worth the $50 price tag. Now, I do want to start with the fact that the design of these, from the case to the earbuds, is very dull. Like, there's nothing that stands out about the design of these. They look like a generic pair of earbuds that Fiio just bought and slapped their label on. So if you're looking for something that looks a little bit different or stands out, this is definitely not going to be that pair. But as far as what they're using inside of the earbuds, they are using Knowles balanced armature drivers, which I've had really good experience with in the past. The technology in here, they're using Bluetooth 5.0. Now, they are using a Qualcomm 3020 chip. Now, this is one of those chips that does a very good job of not pulling a lot of power, which is going to give you a little bit more battery life. Now, as far as the Bluetooth codecs, it has aptX, AAC, and SBC playback. And I noticed that these had a really solid, stable connection. I didn't experience any lag with movies or videos. I did have a slight lag when it came to gaming, but it is really minimal, so I think they did a very good job when it comes to that. Now, as far as the IP rating, this is an area where on their website and on Amazon, it says waterproof. It says a water-resistant design, but there's no official IP rating. So I would say it's fine against rain and splashes and things like that, but I still wouldn't recommend dropping these into water. Now, as far as what you're getting inside the box, they are including the usual small, medium, and large silicone ear tips. And I will say it's very important to make sure that you get the right fit, because the earbuds that were on them right out of the box, I didn't get a good seal, and this definitely affected the bass that I was getting out of these. But I was able to switch to the larger size that fit the seal, and it made a difference when it came to the audio. Now, as far as the charging cable that they've included in here, it is a USB-C cable. And speaking of the charging cable, battery life is actually pretty decent. Now, you're gonna get 7 hours on the earbuds themselves, where with the charging case, you're gonna get around 21 hours total. Now, these don't have a fast charge feature. The case is not a Qi wireless charging case, so that's kind of a bummer. But again, these are only $50, so those are features you can usually find in earbuds that are a little bit more. And speaking of the case, this is a very generic looking case. It's not really anything special. On the back, you can see the USB-C input for charging, and then around on the front, you have 4 indicator lights. That way you can kind of gauge how much battery life is left on the case. Now, I do want to point out that there were a couple of times that I threw the earbuds into the case, closed the lid, and I thought that both were charging, and I found out later that the left one didn't actually charge. And what sucked about that was when I went to use them the next time, the left earbud was dead. So I don't know if it's the magnets are not very strong in the case to pull the earbuds where they need to be, but that is something I felt I needed to point out. So moving over to looking at the earbuds. Again, it's a very simple design, nothing special here. They do use touch controls, and I am happy to say that you have control over everything. So you have your play, your pause, the ability to skip forward, go backwards, and even volume control, all on the earbuds themselves. Now, there is a Fiio app on the store, which I downloaded because I saw somewhere online where somebody said that there was an app that worked with these earbuds. Now, I downloaded the app. It noticed that I had the Fiio earbuds, but it never actually connected, and it never allowed me to do anything as far as EQ controls. It looks like it's there mainly for updating, but again, it didn't really work, so there's nothing I can point out about that. So for you guys that like to use your earbuds individually, these earbuds use a TWS Plus connection, which basically means that the device you're using is sending a signal to each earbud individually. Now that causes for a much more stable connection. It has it where one earbud's not really relying on the other, so you are able to use both individually, and it also switches over into mono mode. So when you're using one earbud, you are getting all of the audio out of that one earbud and not just what's intended for the left or the right. Now, as far as the microphones on here, I think they did an okay job. It's not anything that's going to blow anybody away, but it is using the CVC 8.0 technology, which means it's trying to focus in on your voice and block out a lot of your surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. Alright guys, so here is a mic test using the Fios. I think overall it picks up my voice extremely well. I do notice a little bit of static in the sound, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is a mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound. Remember when I said the case and the earbuds kind of have a dull look and there's nothing that really stands out about it? Well, that theme kind of rolls over into the sound. There's really nothing here to make these earbuds stand out. They are pretty clear, but there's not a lot of focus on the mids and the treble. I'm not going to say that these are flat or these are reference sounding at all either, because I am familiar with that sound signature, but it seems as though they try to boost the treble a little bit and it just doesn't bring out enough details. And it also feels like they bumped up the bass a little, but it still kind of has a hollow feel to it. I don't know. There's just something about the sound of these. It's really dull. I did feel like vocalists were pretty upfront, so I had no issues with being able to really hear characteristics in vocalists. But again, it just sounded dull. I don't think it's going to be a sound that appeals to a lot of people. I do think in this price range, there are much better options, especially if you're going to look at SoundPeats or Earfun. They seem to bring a lot more life into the sound, and you're still going to spend about the same kind of money. The sound stage and the sound imaging on these weren't very open. I felt like I was in a medium-sized room, but I was still able to tell where instruments were coming from. But again, there just wasn't a whole lot of life when it came to the sound of these. So overall, I don't think there's really anything that makes these stand out. I really would have liked to have seen these work with Fio's app a little bit better. I feel like if I could EQ these, that would definitely bring up the value. But overall, I just think it's a pretty dull product from an audio-focused company. I was kind of surprised that it didn't seem that they focused a lot on the audio. There's just not a whole lot going on here. I've tried other earbuds that use the Knowles balanced armature drivers, so I know what they're capable of. And same thing with this company. And for some reason, this product just doesn't live up to their name, and I can't recommend them for the $50 price tag. But guys, that's my video on the Fiio FW1 True Wireless Earbuds. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.